Okay, question 8 and 9 are very much alike. Um, it says rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form, and then it asks for a few pieces of information here. So if I want to take this equation and transform it into slope-intercept form, first of all, I'm reminding myself what that is, right? It is basically y gets isolated, and then you have some coefficient of x, x is being multiplied by something perhaps, and then we're adding some value b. B could be negative, but there's a value tacked onto there. So the big thing I'm thinking is just get y alone. So if I'm looking at this equation, I'm thinking to myself, get y alone, right? Let's write it over here. We've got 8x plus 2y equals 32. If I'm thinking I'm going to try and isolate y, the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 8x from both sides. Minus 8 times x. So this equation becomes 2y. And because I see that I want my x term first, not necessary, but I see it, I'm going to write this as the negative 8x, and then of course there's a positive 32 over there. So you can see what I've done is on each side of this equation, I've introduced the value negative 8x. Of course, on the left-hand side, when I do that and I combine the negative 8x and the 8x, that becomes 0, and it drops off from the left-hand side of the equation. On the right-hand side, I have the negative 8x, and then I'm tacking onto that a 32. Final thing I need to do to isolate y is I need to divide both sides by 2. Now, this is where I need to be careful, right? I'm dividing both sides of this by 2. Now, on the left-hand side, 2 divided by 2 is, of course, just y. On the right-hand side, I've got to be really careful here. The question is there a common factor of 2? And there is. Both negative 8 and 32 can both be divided by 2. It's real important that I understand that I have to have a common factor of 2 in my numerator before I can reduce this. I do. So what I'm going to do is divide each of them by the 2. That's a common factor in each term. So negative 8x divided by 2 is negative 4x, and 32 divided by 2 is a positive 16. So this is slope-intercept form, and I'm going to go ahead and write it here for my answer. It was minus 4x plus 16. So we'll just write this right here. Y equals negative 4x plus 16. The other thing I can see easily when I'm in slope-intercept form is what the slope of the equation is. If I've gotten this form down, right, the coefficient of my x term is the slope of this. So this has a slope pattern of going down 4 units and then going to the right one, right, negative 4. And I could write that lots of different ways, but that's one way that I could write it. Another thing that I can see easily from slope-intercept form is I can easily see the y-intercept. So the y-intercept for this is the value 16. That's why I did that. The y-intercept is 16, so I can just write that. Again, this coefficient of x is my slope, and when I'm in this form, the constant that's over on that other side is the y-intercept. If there is no constant on that side, if it's 0, then my y-intercept is at 0. Last question here says, I need to figure out the x-intercept. Well, the x-intercept, I know x-intercepts occur when y equals 0. So one of the things I can do to find the x-intercept is I can just bring my equation here and I can say to myself, well, let's let y equal 0 because it's an x-intercept I'm looking for. When y equals 0, this equation becomes 8x equals 32. You can see the moment that y is 0, this particular term on the left-hand side is gone. And I don't need to cross it out that much, but it's gone. And I'll bring it back right now. If I divide both sides by 8, we get that x equals the value 4. So I've got my x-intercept is 4. Let's see if we can do this a lot quicker without so much talking, Mr. Roberts. By the way, great point right here. Pause the video and try this. And then, actually, you know what? Yeah, pause the video and try it. Okay, so you're done pausing the video. Now we're going to quickly check this. Same exact things I'm going to walk through. I'm going to get y by itself. So to isolate y, I'm gonna rewrite this again just for good practice. 3x plus 9y equals 81. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides, and I'm going to rewrite this. It becomes 9y equals negative 3x, and then plus 81. And I'm going to divide both sides by 9. Both sides by 9. On the left-hand side, this gives me simply y. And I'm going to go ahead and divide both of my terms. There's two terms here. I have to divide both of them by 9. One of them is going to become 3/9 of x, and the other one is going to become 81. 81 of 81 ninths. I'm sorry, negative 3/9 and 81/9. I can reduce both of those, right? If I reduce them, it's negative 1/3 x, and 81 divided by 9 is plus 9. So we see a lot from this, where we've got a lot of the answer already dialed in. We'll go ahead and write this down, right? Y equals negative 1/3 x plus 9 is the equation in slope-intercept form. It's really important to me that I try to write so that you can read, because I really need you to write so that I can read, or your peers can read your writing. Y-intercept here is 9. We can see that because we're in slope-intercept form. The slope is negative 1/3, meaning I go down 1 to the right 3, or I could go up 1 and to the left 3 units. And then the x-intercept, same thing. Whenever I'm finding an x-intercept, that's the moment that y equals 0. So if y equals 0, this becomes 3x equals 81. And if I divide both sides by 3 here, I get that x equals 27. So my x-intercept is 27. I hope you got all 4 of those right. That's question number 8 and 9.